creative living, utilizing today's technology with the best of the past to bring you innovative ideas and up-to-date information for creative lifestyles in today's active world. With your host, Sheryl Borden.
Welcome to Creative Living. Today, we're going to learn how to paint papier-mâché creations. We'll demonstrate how easy it is to cook a turkey and find out how to reduce allergens in our homes. One of my guests is Dana Pomeroy, and she's a very talented painter. She has a unique line of animal caricatures that she's made from papier-mâché. And Dana will talk about the process of making and shaping the animals and then demonstrate how to paint these adorable creatures. Some are almost life-size. She lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Another guest is Marty Van Ness, and she's a spokesperson and home economist for Butterball in Naperville, Illinois. Marty's going to do a demonstration called Turkey 101, which teaches new cooks simple recipes, entertaining ideas, and cooking tips to help them become more confident when cooking. Did you know you may be sleeping with over 2 million dust mites in your bed every night? Laura Delutri will show some products on the market that help reduce allergens in the home. Her company is Healthy Housekeeper Incorporated, and she's from Overland Park, Kansas. Laura, thank you so much for being here. I was talking to you earlier about how appropriate this is that we're going to talk about allergy relief, because it seems like a lot of us are just having a runny nose, maybe itchy eyes, and you don't feel too bad, but it's just an irritant.
It really is, and there's so many different things that you can do, Sheryl, to control the indoor air. We really can't control what's going on in the outside environment, but we can control our home. And when you think about it, you spend about 1/3 of your life just in your bedroom. Okay, sleeping. So that's one place we're going to tackle today. Also, a lot of people don't realize that the EPA has put out a study saying that allergies and asthma have increased by 700% in the last 15 years. So there's a lot of sniffly, sneezing noses out there.
Well, let's start with one of the things that you recommend, and I think that's a great idea.
Okay. Well, my first thing is microfiber cleaning cloths. And the reason that I like these is because they pick up 99.9% of germs and bacteria and allergens off a surface.
So as you're cleaning, it's not just going back up into the air.
Exactly. It's not being blown around. And what's nice about these is they really do suck up everything, and they bring all the germs and bacteria into the cloth, so you're not smearing it. And the nice thing about the microfiber cloths, the real nice thing is you don't need chemicals.
Oh,
so
just use them as is.
Yeah, that's one thing a lot of people complain about when they do have allergies. They don't want to spray a lot of cleaning chemicals because it's an irritant, of course.
And it's in the air as well.
Exactly. So this will take care of that, microfiber cleaning cloths. Next thing, dusters. You want to make sure that you get a really good quality duster. You don't want, the old chicken feather dusters that just blow everything back into the air. You want to make sure that you have a duster that's really going to trap and lock the dust and dirt and allergens. So look for that. The other thing that I recommend is to get one of the new allergen sprays. There's new ones on the market now. They actually make a furniture polish that actually helps reduce allergens. And another good tip for everyone is to spray the furniture polish directly on the cloth. That way you have less in the air and less to breathe in.
That's a good point. I've always tried to do that.
Yes. Now let's talk about the bed, because it is where we spend 1/3 of our life. And a lot of people don't realize, Sheryl, that they have unwanted bed partners.
Those mites.
Yes, it's the mites. That's right. And do you know how many we have living with us every night?
No.
It's astronomical. Over 2 million dust mites are sleeping with us every night, Sheryl. Yuck. So what are you going to do? This is the best thing that I recommend is purchasing the mattress protectors, the encasements. I like the Ellery's brand. Now, the reason I like it is because a lot of the allergen encasement cover protectors, pillow protectors, they tend to be crackly and plastic, and you make a lot of noise. And now these are so soft. They're made of cotton. It's a breathable fabric. So you can see it's just really, it makes your bed feel really, really good. And like I said, you're spending 1/3 of your life in the bedroom. So it's really important that you take the time. You can, and it's not that expensive. You can actually get like at their website, lres.com, they start out at about $3.99. So it's an affordable option for breathing easier in your bed.
So protectors not only for the mattress, but also for the pillows.
Yes, yes,
Good.
you bet.
Now, what's my little friend doing?
Okay, now, you know, a lot of times people don't realize, but a lot of children or child's asthma and allergy attacks can actually be triggered at night when they're sleeping. And a lot of parents don't realize that the very teddy bear that they could be sleeping with is covered in dust mites, because dust mites thrive on high humidity. They like moisture, and you know, little kids hold their teddy bear and they might perspire, and that's all going to help breed those dust mites. So what I recommend is you take your child's stuffed toy and put it in a plastic bag. And dust mites cannot withstand cold temperatures. They need, you know, the humidity and the warmth to thrive. So put your child's teddy bear or stuffed toy in a plastic bag, put it in the freezer. And
does that kill the dust mites?
That kills the dust mites. I'd say stick it in there for about 2 or 3 hours and let them all freeze and die. And then you take it out and vacuum it with a HEPA vacuum. That's very important.
With that filter.
And with that filter, and then give it back to your child.
Pat it and see if it works.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
and
a
then
good
last
point.
but not least, I have a humidity reader, and it's very important that the humidity in your house is 50% or below. That's going to help. So I bought that for $3, like at one of the big box stores, and it's such a bargain. So it's something to keep an eye on too.
Well, that's great to know. Well, these are some good tips, Laura. Thank you so much for sharing them with us.
It's a pleasure.
Marty, I'll never forget when my mother-in-law and my mother were both gone the first holiday, and I had to cook turkey. I had to, or we wouldn't have had it. You know, we never thought about going out to eat.
Sure.
But it's amazing how really easy it is to cook turkey. I guess you call it Turkey 101, things to do, and how to make life simple.
Yeah. At Butterball, we teach all the freshman people who are going to be on the phones that season Turkey 101. And we try to make it as approachable as possible. People get a little nervous because it's
so big.
large. Yeah. People are okay roasting a chicken, but when it comes to a turkey that's 12, 15, even 25 pounds, they get a little nervous. But it is actually the easiest part of the meal.
It really is, and I like to get the biggest one I can find, whether there's 4 of us or 20 of us, because I like to have the leftovers. That's the best part about turkey.
Oh, I totally agree. I do the same thing and love to freeze those leftovers and use them all year, you know, for another month or so.
What do we look for? If it's someone who's just learning to cook, or maybe like I was that first year having to cook the turkey, what do you look for now?
Well, you know, with the new cooks who are just learning to cook and maybe taking it over for a parent or a grandparent, they're a little nervous. So they call us and we explain, keep it simple. Oftentimes when you have a big meal, you can have somebody, other people bring an extra dish.
Potluck.
Yeah,
sort of.
and you do the turkey, and the directions that come with the turkey is, you know, are easy to follow, and it's always a, you know, easy way to cook, you know, the turkey, and which is the main feature of the Thanksgiving or any meal that includes a whole turkey.
And we should enjoy turkey year round. I just sort of forget it sometimes.
Right. But there are, you know, lots of ways that you can enjoy a meal. But for the first-time cooks, we like to say, keep it simple. Choose recipes that are pretty easy. And here we have a sweet potato bar. Sweet potatoes are so healthy for us. And so we've added the sweet potatoes, and then people can choose their own ingredients.
So build their own, in other words.
Absolutely. And you could do the whole sweet potato or a mashed sweet potato dish. This is even easier, so keep it simple if you're a first-time cook. But the toppings include possibly the toasted coconut, the toasted pecans, cranberries, which are really
that's a
fun,
good idea.
Tart treat, and then the mini marshmallows. And I always like to put a little chopped up or crumbled up turkey bacon on it too, and that adds a nice touch.
So just cook the turkey bacon and then
Crumble
it up.
And,
I see.
And all these preparations can be done the day before. So for the first-time cook, keep the recipes simple. Do as much ahead of time, a day or 2 ahead of time. You certainly can toast coconut and pecans days ahead of time. Keep them in a little baggie in the refrigerator. And so keep it very simple.
Well, and one thing I did want to ask you, because I'll be getting ready to buy a turkey pretty soon.
Okay.
Tell us some of the different ways the whole turkey can be cooked to perfection, like using the thermometer or the pop-ups.
Right. The easiest way to cook a turkey is the open pan method. And that comes in our little instruction packet with every turkey.
And we can go to butterball.com and it steps you through that.
Yes,
I like that
you can do. Also, very popular are the oven roasting bags.
I like to cook it that way.
A lot of people do. It's faster, so I guess it would be a little more green. You use a little less electricity or gas in your oven.
I guess so.
And just make sure that the turkey is put into the bag, and you tie off the end and make little slits on the top of the bag, and follow the instructions on the box of the oven roasting bags. And then also grilling is very popular. And it's easy to grill the turkey if you have an oven in the kitchen and you have a grill outside, but people are bringing dishes to cook. You can free up your oven, put the turkey on the grill, and follow the directions at butterball.com, and you'll make a wonderful turkey.
Well, and in some parts of the country, frying the turkey is even popular.
Right, deep frying turkey is extremely popular, and we've gotten more accustomed to that at the Talk Line. We have now been using the countertop method, and there's no open flame. It's not a propane flame. A lot of people are outside with the propane flame. They just want to be very careful with that. But the plug-in, you lower it. They have 2 different size containers. You can put the turkey right in there, cook it in your kitchen on the countertop, and it's done in a breeze.
Well, and really the thing about any of these methods that you described is it keeps the meat so moist inside.
Yes, yes. And moistness depends on the temperature of the turkey. So it's real important to use a meat thermometer, and there's an assortment of meat thermometers out there. I noticed your oven has one that you plug in, and you can set it to that 180 degrees in the thigh. Perfect every time.
180 degrees is what we want to cook to in the thigh.
But the breast temperature should be 170. Now, some people like to stuff their turkey, so if you do stuff the turkey, Sheryl, make sure the stuffing is 165. Those 3 endpoint temperatures are part of food safety, and we tell all of our callers that, and also at butterball.com you'll find out that safety information too.
And during the holiday season, there's this talk line that you can call, and I've always wondered, who are those people that answer those phones?
We have 55 home economists.
55?
55. It's just a lot of fun working with these women. It's usually November and December. The first day in November,
and that's
first
where
Monday in November.
Those are the ones you were teaching the Turkey 101.
Yes, right. And some of the new people really are hearing this for the first time. So it's real important that the freshmen go to 101. And then we have advanced training that talks about all our other turkey products. But it's just a great time. We answer thousands and thousands of questions every day, every week. And by Thanksgiving Day, it all reaches that point, Thanksgiving Day, where we're just really talking turkey 24/7. It feels like
literally. I've always wondered who those real people were back behind the
it's me.
phone.
I take a lot of those calls, and it's wonderful. It's so special to share a very special holiday with so many people, and they call us for their advice and their help. Sometimes they're in college and they're cooking their first turkey ever. Sometimes they're 78 years old and cooking their first turkey ever. And we bridge that. It's so cross-generational. But we find that the new cooks are much more adventuresome. I'm a little staid in my ways, but I have children, young, kids that are married now, and they want to spice it up. So they will love this. This is a great feature that I'm going to serve for Thanksgiving.
Well, and you do have lots of wonderful recipes on the website, and so people can go to that to get some of those maybe less than traditional ideas to cook too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Marty, for being with us today.
Thank you, Sheryl. Thanks for inviting us.
Dana, thank you so much for coming. I feel like I'm surrounded by a lot of friends here, and I'm sure your studio and your works when you go to galleries and things are the same way. People just relate to happy-looking characters, and we have lots. People can look around as they're watching you demonstrate this, but you work in paper mache, and you started working with dolls, and then you sort of found your niche.
Exactly.
But paper mache's come a long way, kind of like when we were talking about scrapbooking, all the changes that have come about. So.
Exactly, it really has, and I totally respect doing the homemade, the paper with the glue and the flour, but I don't use that, and I use a product that is a little bit more a little bit more sturdy and mixable. This is the product that I have found that works for me the best. And if you were ever interested in getting into paper mache, there are many recipes for good homemade paper mache. I just find that this works best for me. You add water, and it becomes like a clay-like medium. It really is almost like ceramic clay. You can shape it, mold it. It holds its shape, which is really wonderful. You can thin it down and spread it over your sculptures, which the underbodies are just balled up newspaper and foil, nothing fancy.
That part hasn't changed through the years.
That part hasn't changed at all. And you can experiment with maybe really heavy-duty cardboard for some of the bigger pieces, which I really enjoy. You said you made a 8-foot giraffe. 8-foot giraffe, exactly.
So for his neck, you used a tube.
Exactly,
for support.
A very sturdy tube, and it adhered really well to the cardboard, and it held its shape.
That's great.
When this paper mache dries, it dries very hard. So
and
it's
I
really
noticed
nice.
something that I've learned already talking to you. I've worked a little bit with, I think everybody's worked with paper mache in school projects, but we always just used the newspapers and wadded it and put masking tape around it and kind of shaped it. But you use foil over it.
I do, and some tape too, but foil for the smallest is the easiest, and it holds everything together because foil is very sculptural, you know, like at a restaurant when they make the swan or whatever to go. Foil holds its shape, and it holds your sculpture in shape.
That's a good point.
Because newspaper will tend to explode back open.
And so you put multiple thin layers of paper mache over that foil, let it dry 2 or 3 days or however long, I guess.
However long, however big your project is, however long, however thick you initially sculpt the first layer. Those are things that, you know, your hands and your time frame, you'll be able to tell.
You just get a feel.
You can touch it and see if it's still cool. You'll know it's still wet. So over time, but then again, in the New Mexico sun, in the summertime, it dries very fast. So I set my things outside.
You also can put it in the oven.
Yes,
but you need to watch it.
Just watch it. Exactly. It's nothing like deadly or anything like that. It'll smell like warm newspaper, but it does speed up the drying process, especially for smaller projects.
Well, talk about smaller projects. I mean, you go all the way from these little cows
and ornaments, and these will be
Christmas ornaments.
Christmas ornaments.
Oh, I see. You've got a little piece of metal there.
Yeah. So from tiny clear to, like we were talking about,
the giraffe,
7 foot,
almost
8
life
foot
size.
Giraffe. Exactly, exactly.
Well, I wish we had time to go through the whole process, but now that you've explained kind of how to create these, could you show us about painting and what kind of paint we use to decorate them?
Well, I just, to start initially, I would just suggest going to any of the craft stores anywhere that sells just acrylic paint.
Just plain acrylic water-based acrylic
water-based
paint.
acrylic paint. And very simple, and it painting. Oh, and when you one word of caution, I guess, you have your first beautiful paintbrushes, which are all gorgeous, just like our, colored pencils. But once you start painting on paper mache, it does destroy your brushes. So do know that.
Do you suggest buying some more inexpensive ones?
Less expensive ones, because they're going to go fast, and they scrub, and it's like painting on a wall almost. You can see.
Because it's rough texture.
It is very rough texture. And you don't have to, this is just primed with just plain old white acrylic paint, just to give it a nice first coat. And so it's just very simple.
You're painting just like this cat.
Just this cat right here. Now, it's just paint, and you'll see that orange is a very transparent, color. So, but to give it a little bit more, sort of round it out, I just kind of paint over it and shade it. And that makes them look a little fatter, because it kind of makes this orange pop out. Exactly. So you can blend it.
Now, you have a degree in fine art, so you're very artistic. But you say that even those of us who aren't can work with paper mache and create some of these things.
It's so very easy and so very forgiving. And the thing, like, anytime you start a project for the very first time, it'll fight you a little bit, and you'll get a little frustrated. But just go back to it, and nobody needs to know if you make a mistake.
That's true.
So, and you can make a funny item, and just what I've taught in the past is just to make a funny animal and just let it dry and just learn how the paint handles on the sculpture.
Oh, well, that's a good idea.
You know, you can just mess with it and it just goes on just like a bumpy canvas.
So you undercoated this with just plain white?
Just plain white.
That was
no
over the
secret.
dried paper
exactly.
mache.
And what I would do here to give it a little bit, almost cartoon, I like to kind of refer to it as a cartoony look. So this will pop. I go along here and I shade the black. And you don't have to use black. A dark blue is kind of fun sometimes. The black can tend to be a little harsh on some of the animals, but just for today's sake. And of course, paint the big old nose black, and you can kind of stipple and shade. And I like to put the first coats on, let them dry thoroughly, and then highlight them
and
like
go
this.
back.
Exactly.
And like you were saying, the white, unless you just put it on really thick, there's going to be white or the background colors show through.
Exactly.
And that's okay,
Exactly,
because the
it is.
second layer will cover it up.
And also, when you're working in a more transparent color like the orange, the paper mache does drink it up quite a bit. So the white just kind of gives it almost like a gesso feeling, where you just kind of just a coat to.
I guess, could you use gesso to undercoat it?
You know, I have never experimented with that, but I would assume that would work also really well. Oops, I blended the wrong colors. So we'll
like
make
you say,
that
it's
kind
very
of a tangerine
forgiving.
color. So yeah, now I've got a new color going on there. Okay,
I like
well
that
now we've got
color.
tangerine. But what we can also do is I'll show here on this this spot right here. Since this is kind of a chubby little dog, if you blend,
So highlight in the center.
exactly. And then just go along really carefully on this and just kind of even that up, and you have just a nice clean edge.
Do you usually hold them, or are you just doing that to show us, or do you lay them down?
With the bigger pieces, I definitely lay them down and show them. But actually, the smaller pieces are easy to hold. And I can see them. You can kind of manipulate them around. And even like with the toes, it doesn't take much to give it just the feeling of toes. And that's what I like paper mache. It's not perfect, but it's the feeling it evokes. When you add the color, it's almost...
well, they come to life.
They do come to life.
They really come to life.
I really, really love the sculpting part, but the painting gives them life. So when I paint, I do think that the shading is important because it softens it and just gives it a more comical look.
But I like it because I like bright colors
Exactly,
anyway.
exactly.
And that's kind of what you tend to use. Oh, I did want to show this because I had asked you about this. I've told you is my favorite. This rabbit.
Yes.
Roping a snake.
Yes, exactly.
That's just so cute. But I asked you if you make boots. I know you make tennis shoes.
Sure.
I've seen those.
Yes,
But now, what did you tell us about this boot?
This boot, I just went to the thrift store. Or if you have any boots that anyone's just saying, I'm done with these now, I just sculpted right over it. And
put the paper mache over it?
And it adhered to it. I just kind of stuffed it so it would hold its shape because the paper mache made it kind of damp and wet a little bit, kind of sinked down a little bit, So I stuffed it full of newspaper first, and then I sculpted right over it, and I didn't know if it would work, but it did. So it was a lot of fun.
Well, and it probably saved you some time because of building it and drying and all of that.
Exactly.
But
And
it still looks just like the same characters.
Exactly, and since the boot was kind of the focal point of the piece, I wanted an accurate boot. But also it would be a lot of fun. You could sculpt spurs. You know, there you could put a rope around the boat. There's just, it's just, again, it's kind of limitless what you can do to have fun with it.
Well, it is, and looking at all of these, I can just tell you have such a happy time creating your works of art, and that we should all enjoy that.
It is. It gets messy. It can get messy. I won't try and deny that, but it's always fun. It's
and
just
after
always
you
fun.
paint, do you go back and put any type of a sealant or a poly finish or anything?
You know, a lot of people have asked me if I can put my sculptures outdoors. I don't suggest it under a covered patio situation, but I have spray painted, just sprayed polyurethane on. But I've also researched that you can put yacht varnish and make them completely outdoor sculptures. And I haven't ventured into that yet.
Okay, well, you come back and let us know about that, and we'll create some outdoor sculptures.
Open a whole new door.
A whole new world.
But they can go outside, and I have polyurethane them as long as they're just not in direct rain and things like
snow, whatever.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much. You're so
You're so
talented, and
welcome.
we appreciate you coming and sharing all of this with us.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the show today. Next time on Creative Living, we'll learn how to make a simple costume for kids. We'll demonstrate some on-the-go snacks and show how to do faux quilting with stamps. If you like to make Halloween costumes or even just play clothes for your kids, you'll really enjoy the project we'll show next time, which results in an octopus costume. Another guest who is a chef is going to demonstrate how easy it is to cook with figs and make some simple on-the-go snack bars and power bars that are packed with flavor and sustainable energy. And finally, another guest will show how to use specialty stamps to stamp out a real quilt. The stamps are created without a lip, so you can easily place them next to each other to create awesome art, mixed media pieces, backgrounds, and much more. I hope you'll plan to join me next time for Creative Living.
We are very pleased to offer a special booklet that accompanies this series of Creative Living. We are celebrating our 40th year on PBS. This booklet is titled the 40th Anniversary Series, and it features a wonderful collection of ideas and information, and it's available free of charge on our website. Posted as a PDF file, you can simply download the entire booklet or just the segments you're most interested in. For your copy of this commemorative booklet, go to our website at kenw.org and then click on Creative Living. Scroll down to the booklet section and you can click on this booklet or on any of the other booklets we have available online. We would like to invite you to sign up for our free e-newsletter too. Go to kenw.org and click on the Sign Up Now button and input your email address. That's all there is to it. We would also like to ask you to become a fan of Creative Living on Facebook. Go to facebook.com and in the search window type in Creative Living with Sheryl Borden. Thanks so much. We look forward to hearing from you.